You are already serving someone right now, today. Before you finished your coffee, before you checked your phone, your heart was already bowing to a master. You may not have picked one on purpose, but make no mistake, you picked. Jesus says something today that sounds impossible until you see it, and then you cannot unsee it. No one can serve two masters. Not should not. Cannot. Your heart was built for one. And here is the good news before we even open the verse. If the wrong master has been running your life, the right one is not far off, and he is not asking for a piece of you. He is offering to take all of you and set you free. Stay with me. Subscribe before we go one verse further, because this teaching exposes who owns you, and then it points you to the only master who ever loved you enough to die for you. June 7th, Daily Nourishment to become Christlike. Teacher Peter Ministries presents Daily Readings from the Life of Christ. Why you cannot serve two masters. Jesus is about to say something that sounds harsh until you notice the one word he chose on purpose. Let the verse land first, then watch it swing wide open. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth. Matthew 6:24. One master owns all of you. He has just told you that where your treasure is, your heart follows, and that where your eye looks, your whole body fills with light or dark. Now he names the thing your heart has been circling, a master. Walk through this one sentence slowly with me. Look at the very first thing Jesus does. He does not say you should not serve two masters. He does not say it is unwise. He says you cannot. That is not a rule. That is a reality. A rule is something you are told not to do but still could. A reality is something that will not work no matter how hard you push. Jesus is not wagging a finger at you. He is telling you how your heart is wired. Think of a wall socket built for one plug. You can stand there all afternoon forcing a second plug into the slot, but the wall was never made for two. It was made for one. Your heart is that socket. Somebody is getting plugged in as the source. The only question is who. So when Jesus says cannot, he is not shrinking your options. He is telling you the truth about how you were built. So you stop exhausting yourself trying to live a way that was never going to hold. Now here is the word that unlocks the whole verse. The word Jesus uses for masters is the word for an owner. And the word he uses for serve means to serve the way a bondservant serves. This is not an employee. This is someone who is owned. And that changes everything. Because in the world Jesus lived in, you actually could work for two employers. A hired man could pick up wages in one field in the morning and another field in the afternoon. Two paychecks, no problem. But a bondservant was different. He did not belong to two houses. He belonged completely to one. His time, his labor, his loyalty, all of it, one owner. You can hold two jobs and keep two bosses happy because they only own your shift, not your life. But nobody gets fully owned by two people at once. The moment both of them claim all of you, one of them is going to lose. That is the word Jesus reached for on purpose. Not worker, not employee, a servant who belongs. He is not asking which job you clock into. He is asking who owns you. And watch what he says happens when you try to keep two. You will hate the one and love the other. You will cling to one and despise the other. Notice he does not say you will balance them. He says the heart tips. It always tips. Why can divided loyalty never stay balanced? Because sooner or later, the two masters give opposite orders. And in that moment, you have to choose. You cannot obey both. One gets your yes, the other gets your no. Picture two bosses standing over your desk at the same time. One says stay late and finish. The other says leave and come with me. You freeze for a second, but you cannot do both. The instant they disagree, you find out who you really work for. Not by what you say, by who you obey. That is the mercy hiding in this hard sentence. Jesus is telling you ahead of time that the tie you are trying to keep is going to break anyway. So stop waiting for the crisis to decide for you. Decide now while it is calm who gets your yes. Then Jesus names the rival out loud. You cannot serve God and wealth. The old word is mammon. Money treated almost like a living lord that wants your worship. He does not leave the competitor vague. He points right at it. And hear this clearly, because it is easy to twist. Jesus does not say money is evil. Money is a good servant. It buys bread. It helps a neighbor. It keeps the lights on. The problem is never money in your hand. The problem is money on the throne. Mammon is not content to be a tool. It wants to be the owner. Think of your phone syncing to an account. It will fully sync to one. Try to make it primary for two at once, and it glitches, confused, split. Your heart is the same. It will fully sync to one Lord. Money makes a wonderful servant and a brutal master, and it is always applying for the higher position. So the question is not, do you have money? The question is, does money have you? And here is where it lands. Not in a smaller life, in a whole one. The person whose one master is Jesus can eat, work, rest, give, and do every ordinary thing to the glory of God. That is 1 Corinthians 10:31. When there is one Lord, even the small stuff points somewhere. People hear one master and think prison, but undivided is not smaller. It is finally free. A compass with one true north is not limited. It is the only kind that works. Give it two norths and it just spins, pointing everywhere and nowhere. One master is that compass finally settling. You were not built to spin. You were built to point. Reflection. Which master already owns you? Before you can turn from a master, you have to catch him in the light. And the master that runs you is usually the one you would never say out loud. So let me ask you the honest question. Which master competes the hardest for you? Not the cartoon villain, the quiet one. For a lot of people, it is not even money. It is approval, the need to be liked. It is comfort, the refusal to be inconvenienced. It is control, or the loudest master of all, yourself. Name yours. It usually hides behind something that looks harmless. And here is the trap, because you have probably tried this. You tell yourself you serve both. God on the weekend, the other master the rest of the week. You keep the peace. You keep them both happy. But remember what Jesus said, the tie always breaks. There is a moment in the Old Testament where the prophet Elijah stands in front of a whole nation that is trying to do exactly this. Serve God and keep a backup God too. And he asks them one question that still cuts today. How long will you go limping between two opinions? Limping, that is the picture. Not walking with God, not walking away. Limping between the two, worn out, getting nowhere. Have you watched it prove true? In your own life or in someone you love, where a divided heart quietly fell apart, where trying to keep two masters happy ended in the exact loss Jesus described, loving one and losing the other. You have seen it. This is not a theory. It has a track record. So why do we keep trying to have it both ways? Here is the honest answer. We want the master's protection without the master's ownership. We want the safety of belonging to God and the freedom of still belonging to yourself. And that is the one arrangement Jesus says is not on the table. Application. Choose your master today. Truth you do not act on is gone by lunch. So here are 3 honest steps to name the rival, break its grip, and put the one true master back on the throne. So what do you do with this? 3 honest steps. 1. Follow the evidence. You want to know who your master is. Do not ask your words. Ask your calendar. Ask your bank statement. Ask what you think about when your mind finally goes quiet. Ask what you reach for the second you feel anxious. Where your time, your money, and your worry go, that is where your master lives. Follow the evidence and name him out loud. 2. Fire him as master. Keep him as servant. You do not have to throw money or comfort in the trash. You have to demote it. Take one concrete decision this week that puts it back in its place. Give something away. Say no to a purchase you would normally make on reflex. Say yes to a person you were too busy for. One decision that says out loud, you serve me, you do not own me. 3. Hand the throne to the one who belongs on it. Here is the part you cannot muscle. You do not make yourself undivided by gritting your teeth. A single heart is received, not achieved. So bring him the divided heart exactly as it is. Ask him to be your one master. And then do one ordinary thing today as service to him. The dishes, your work, A text you owe someone. Same task, brand new owner. That is what belonging to one Lord actually looks like on an ordinary day. Pray. Father, I am tired of the spinning. I have been trying to serve two masters, and I have felt what it does to me, the divided heart, the exhaustion, the limping between two opinions, getting nowhere. Today, I want to stop. I choose you as my one Lord. But you know my heart better than I do, so I'm not going to pretend I can find every rival on my own. Show me the one that has been quietly claiming me. Give me the courage to take it off the throne and hand the throne to you. I cannot make myself single-hearted. I am not digging for strength inside me. I do not have it. I am receiving it from you. Teach me to belong to you completely, so that even the small, ordinary parts of my day point in your direction. You are my one true north. I give you all of me. In Jesus' name, meditate. Carry this truth with you today. No one can serve two masters. My heart was built for one, and one is not a smaller life. It is a free one. I cannot make myself undivided, but Christ can, and I am handing him the throne. Today I serve one master, and I do the ordinary things for him. When you feel the pull today, the tug toward the other master, do not just white-knuckle it. Name it, say that is not my master, and turn your face back to the one who is. When your mind drifts to what you do not have, remember you were not built to spin, you were built to point. So point. Let these words renew your mind throughout the day. Takeaway. You were never built to serve two masters. You were built to belong completely to one. A divided heart is not richer, it is just tired, spinning like a compass with two norths, pointing everywhere and arriving nowhere. One master is that compass finally settling. You cannot make yourself undivided, but Christ can. So stop trying to hold the tie together. Take his hand and give him your yes. Subscribe. Do not leave with just information. Leave with a decision. This week you walk through your treasure, then your eye, and now your master. And every step said the same thing. Your heart follows what it loves, and it was made to love one. Tomorrow, Jesus takes the next breath, and it is the deepest teaching on worry in all of Scripture. Because the moment you stop serving money as your master, the first thing that whispers is fear. What about my needs? And Jesus has an answer for that you will not want to miss. Subscribe so tomorrow is already waiting for you. And share this with someone who has been limping between two masters, worn out from trying to serve both. The answer was never to try harder. The answer is to bring the divided heart to Jesus and let him make it whole. Subscribe and let him be your one master.